Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to another Tuesday evening CHATBOUT talk show. I'm so glad to be back here on this Tuesday evening. I'll tell you what, it's getting dark of a of an evening now here in the UK. That tells me autumn is creeping in, but it's okay. It's all good. We're still semi semi summer. It's still not that cold as yet, but it's getting dark. The mornings are dark. The evenings are dark really early as well, but it's okay. I'm glad to be back here another Tuesday evening. So glad to be back here another Tuesday evening in the land of the living. Thanking the Lord for life, and I'm thanking Him for you being there as well. 2 hours of talking on a Tuesday evening, no music, straight talking. We're gonna have a wonderful conversation tonight. Hopefully, you will join us, get involved in the conversation, especially if it means something to you, if the topic really does resonate with you. We want you to jump into the conversation and make the show what it needs to be. All right, and it only happens with you interacting with us. It's the CHATBOUT talk show, Tuesdays 8 till 10 p.m. We are live on several radio stations. We are live all over social media: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Mixcloud, and of course my official website, www.brothercharles.uk. So there's nowhere you can't find us. We are all over the place. So please share. All we ask from you is that you share the link to whatever platform you're listening or watching us from. If it's your favorite radio station, tell somebody about the station. Tell them about this show, Tuesdays, 8 till 10 p.m. from London, UK, right round the world. All right? If you are on your favorite social media platform, press that share button. They all have a share button. Press that share button and share it in your WhatsApp groups to your family, your friends. Just share it all over the place. All right, we've got another great topic for you tonight, and we do hope that you will get involved in the show. All right, let me bring my co-host on before we tell you what the topic is tonight. I will shortly give you all the contact details to get through to us here in the studio. It's an interactive show. We've got a live phone line, and we've got a live chat room as well. So big up all the regulars and all the newbies. If you're listening to us for the first time, welcome to the CHATBOUT talk show. Hopefully you're going to stick around for the next just under 2 hours, and you're going to join us on a weekly basis. So let me bring in my co-host, and we'll get the show on the road. Good evening, Minister Joshua Kesler. How are you?
Hey, blessings, bro. I'm not too bad, thanks. I'm good. Can't complain.
Wonderful.
Good to be here again.
Praise the Lord.
So yeah, I just want to say a pleasant good evening to each and everyone out there who's listening, who's logged on. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing good. And yeah, hopefully tonight we will have a great conversation, and you guys will pick up the phone and call in.
That's what we want. That is what we want. It's the CHATBOUT talk show where we do some chattings, some talkings, and some interactions.
That's right.
All right.
That's
so no, you took leave a couple of weeks ago. Pastor Owen's taking leave tonight. I think it's my turn next week. So we'll see who picks the short straw. Hopefully Pastor Owen will join us later on, but he has got a prior engagement. But we do hope that he does join us and he's well wherever he is. Tonight, bro, we are talking about something that was made aware to me, was brought to my attention over the weekend, actually. And since then, I've just seen non-stop of it. I am talking about the Kirk Franklin story regarding his father. Father's Day. He's got a new album coming out real soon. I don't know. They're trying to say it's nothing to do with his album coming out shortly. But it is. There's a serious side to it all. And we thought that we'll take elements from that story and use it on tonight's show. So, if you don't mind, I will just mention a few things. Has anyone seen the video? Should I say that? Let me just ask. Good evening to those that are already joining us. Has anyone actually seen the video, the Kirk Franklin video? That's what I'd like to know. Has anyone seen the Kirk Franklin video? Let me just try and find what it's actually called. Um, it's called Father's Day. I do believe it is called Father's Day. A Kirk Franklin story, if I'm not mistaken. A Kirk Franklin story, Father's Day. It's on YouTube. So many people have already watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Over 1.5 million people have watched it. So it's definitely gaining interest.
Yeah.
In short, it's basically a section of Kirk Franklin's life that he's put into this video. 35-minute video that I have watched. And if you haven't watched it, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. That's what I think I'll do. So you can go and watch it. I think I'll put the link after the show. That's what I do. We don't want nobody going and watching it while we're on. I think somebody is trying to call, but we're gonna have to decline that for now. But yeah, we're gonna take certain elements of that story and roll it into tonight's show. All right. So good evening to you all once again. Please share, and share again as many times as you can this show tonight. All right. We would love for you to just share, and share as much times as you can this show tonight. All right. We're gonna start. Have you seen the Kirk Franklin video? That's what I'm asking you tonight. And tonight we're going to ask you a few questions. Have you been denied of something from someone you love? Have you been denied of something from someone you love? Have you been lied to by someone you love? Have you been shut out by your family, friends, or the church? What have you done about this? Who did you turn to? Have you just lived with it, or have you tried to get to the bottom of the issue with nothing but barriers in your way? Who has helped you? Have you given up on fixing the issue? Do you need help? Have you been helped and have now become the helper? Who helped you? Have you had family breakups that can't or haven't been restored? These are the questions we're asking tonight. These are the questions we are asking tonight. There's a lot of questions there. But as I said, I watched the, it was brought to my attention, this Kirk Franklin video. And I know it's so many people can relate to elements, if not one or two or three or several of the elements, if not all of the elements in that video. And it has touched so many people in a short space of time. Mr. Joshua, you seen it?
Yeah, I've actually watched it. I actually watched it twice, just to get a full in-depth understanding of this small snippet of Kirk Franklin's life, and I thought it was quite interesting. A number of things come to light in terms of what he had experienced. I think during the course, one of the things in the video, he talks about trauma. He talks about a sense of not knowing who he was as a child. He also talked about being adopted, and when you're adopted, you're in this system, and how that can affect you as a young child. I think another thing that kind of was highlighted within the video was the secrets and the lies.
Yes.
That was kind of kept from him. And I think one of the things that really stood out for me is that sometimes, because there's been a whole load of conversations as it relates to Kirk Franklin and his behavior and his life, and sometimes the way he may behave. And you have people who put videos on social media and they say all kind of things
Yeah.
like, oh, the man is saved and he's not this because look what he's doing and he's working with
Mm-hmm.
secular artists and this and that and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that kind of came to me is that sometimes we really do need to be careful, even as Christians,
Yeah.
because I've seen Christians put things up on social media,
Mm.
tearing down the man or the woman of God because they see them, what would I say, acting what they may deem to be contrary to the will of God. And yes, sometimes there are things that, individuals may do as Christians that, yes, we do need to speak about it and we do need to, correct and show some type of love. We're supposed to challenge inappropriate behavior.
Yeah.
But sometimes people behave in a way because of where they got, what they've been through or what they're going through, and it manifests itself in sometimes in an appropriate way.
Yeah.
It's always important that we know, it's like when a person comes to church, or they come into church for the first time, and and a person's asked that they want to go through a process of healing or deliverance, and they've been handed over to the deliverance ministry. One of the things that I know is that in order for that person to get true deliverance, is like you have to somewhat get to the root of the problem.
Cool. Yeah.
You have to understand the backstory.
Yes.
And sometimes we don't understand the backstory of where people are coming from, and we're so quick to judge.
Yeah.
And I think for me, as I said, what it highlighted to me is that we need to be careful that we don't cast stones at people, because we don't know where people are coming from and what they're going through. And I think after watching that video, it really gave me a perspective as to maybe why, Kurt may have been behaving the way he was behaving. And I think this was something that was major to his life.
Yes.
In the video it talks about he was under the assumption that he had a father, and the person who was his father then now turns out that it wasn't his father, and he buried that man believing that it was his father. And then he also had certain type of resentment towards that man. And then now all of a sudden there's this conversation that happens at a funeral, and then we know this. If you've watched the video, it talks about when his father decides to do a DNA test and gives Kurt the results and tells him, if you feel that you want to go ahead with this, then do that. But I just think, as I said, going back to what came out of it for me is that we need to be careful that we don't, when we see people acting inappropriately, we are supposed to come alongside them and try to help them and support them.
Build them up,
because
build them up, not tear them down.
Encourage them, because we don't know what they're going through. We don't know why they're behaving like that.
That's right.
There is always a root to a problem or to a cause, and it's about getting to the root of the problem, not trying to find out people's business so you can then go and spread it around. You know how some of us are. We like to draw close to people to find out people's business. I know people like that.
Oh yeah.
They draw close to you, they befriend you, and they use the guise of Christianity. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. So let me go and that. But the whole idea is that we are supposed to come alongside people, to show people love, to show people compassion, and to help them through the process. But there was a number of things, as I've highlighted, that came out out of that documentary. The lying, the deception, the fact that he was in the system as an adopted child, the challenges that he had with his own biological mother, where she said that she denied the paternity, even when they took the test twice. She still denied it, and you can't do. The thing is, you can't deny facts. The evidence is there. You just cannot deny it. There's no way you can say, well, this is a lie. It's the proof is in the pudding. So yeah, it was a very heartwarming, touching short documentary that I felt was quite powerful, and it highlighted a lot of stuff. And as you said in the preliminary stages of the show, Brother Charles, is that I'm sure there's a number of people who can relate to Kirk Franklin's story, and maybe want to call in and share their experience. Maybe you've been somebody who was adopted and you got caught in the system, and how the system affected you, or maybe the system helped you. Maybe you was fortunate in your journey, but that's not the case with most people. So so it'll be interesting to see what people have to say tonight.
Definitely.
If they've actually watched the video, it'd be interesting to see what they have to say and share,
Yeah.
etc., etc. Is there anything else that came out of it for you?
There's so much that I kind of even overlooked the adoption part of it as well. I was just focusing on mainly the DNA type of element to the story, but the adoption one. Now I'm thinking back on it. He said before June or whenever it was this year, he hadn't seen his mother for 23 years. Prior to that, I think he said he saw her once or twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Although being adopted, a lot of the time he mentioned in the video as well. Sometimes or a majority of the time, when somebody gets adopted, that is it. They're just cut off from the biological mother normally and the parent. They're just normally cut off. They don't see them again. Sometimes they don't even know who they are. But he still was able to see his mother once or twice a year, which he said was a scar that never healed.
Yeah.
He described it as a scar because yes, you know that you grew up knowing that you're adopted. Your mum abandoned you. In some cases, it isn't always being abandoned. Sometimes it's for health reasons, mental health reasons, whatever the case may be. But he was abandoned, and the scar of that didn't ever heal because he was always seeing his mother once or twice a year. So if he thought there was any chance at any time growing up that they could get back together as a mother and son, it never happened. It just never happened. It didn't happen in all of that time.
And I think one of the other things as well, before I forget, because sometimes as you begin to have conversation, things begin to come to you. And I think one of the things that also was quite powerful in the documentary is that this is a young man who craved and was so in need of having a father in his life.
Yes,
wanting to have a father in his life, and you see how important it is for men to have their father in their life.
Yes,
it's important. It was important for Kurt. This was something that was big for him. This was something that he needed. I think even in one of the in the video, we see that when him and his dad actually sat down and he gave his dad the results to look at, and he just now discovers that this is his son.
Yes.
And he just broke down and whatever, not blah blah blah. And then there was that powerful moment where they actually embraced, and Kurt was the one that initiated it.
Yeah.
He goes, I need to hug you.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to have that connection.
Yeah.
And you finally, when you think about, he was saying that how I remember music has been his, what would I say, his go-to apart from God.
Yeah.
Music was one of his outlets where he would
it was therapy
where he would speak to God, pray to God.
Yeah.
Trying to make sense of his life, trying to understand where he's actually come from. Etc. etc. It was. I'll tell you,
it's got so many elements, Rose. So many elements. Another element to it as well. Not too long ago, I think it was last year or possibly the year before, there was this big thing with him and his son, where he was on social media. People were slating him for a conversation he and his son had, where it just went left, and we don't know why. Now we can maybe work out this is why, but look at how what this story has done. It's brought them together.
Thank you.
Where they actually said that they forgive each other. They ended up embracing each other.
That's right.
It's just brought them together. And wow. When I saw that, I said, wow.
Yeah, it's powerful.
From that video or whatever, the clip that was going around a couple of years ago to this today that I watched, wow. It's powerful. There's no doubt about it. Whether it's a publicity stunt or whatever, if there's truth behind it, it's very powerful.
Yeah, it is powerful.
No doubt about it. It's got so many elements.
Yeah,
So many
so
elements.
many,
Yeah,
so many elements to this to a 30-minute, and I'm sure it was edited, but to a
yeah,
30
yeah,
minute
yeah, yeah.
snippet of his life.
And we forget.
And there's so much content in there.
Yeah, I haven't even. We
You know,
haven't even mentioned that the fact that he is, apart from the story of dad, son, paternity test. We're talking about a mega star as well.
yeah,
He's a Grammy
yeah,
award winning, multi
yeah,
Grammy award winning
that's right.
star. You know, there's no
Yeah,
doubt about it.
yeah,
He's not a normal. He's not a
that's it.
simpleton. He's not a
That's right.
normal
That's right.
somebody.
That's right.
You know,
That's
he's
right.
he's he's
That's right.
he's a big player.
That's
Certainly
right.
one of the top
That's right.
gospel artists in history.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know,
That's right.
it's a series. There's so much to it. So
Yeah,
much to it.
yeah, yeah,
His aunt that was in it as well. You know,
yeah,
I'm sure she had a role in his life growing up, whether good
mhm,
or bad. But the
yeah,
elements of it came out.
yeah. True. So true.
So much, so
So
much,
true.
so much, so
Yeah.
much, so much.
So much.
His musical
So much.
family that have helped him, kept him grounded, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's just wow. Yeah. If you got anything else you want to say before we open the phone lines,
We could open the
we
phone lines
open it
and
and
get
just
people
roll
calling
on.
in.
Yeah,
Maybe people might want to call in and share. Maybe they've watched the video and they want to share their perspective and what they thought, etc.
yeah.
Or maybe they can relate. Maybe they've been in
This
the
is
same situation where, and maybe for some people, because we have to, because it is a sensitive
it is
conversation. Because
it
maybe
is.
for
It's
some
personal,
people,
very
they
personal.
they don't want to open up or relive
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
those
yeah,
those
yeah,
times.
yeah.
They just want to bury it and just kind of move forward. But maybe you're in a place where you've healed.
Mhm,
There
mhm,
was a good outcome,
mhm.
and maybe you want to share. And that's why one of the things that's important. Sometimes we have these secrets and these lies. We need to stop that foolishness.
Jesus,
Sometimes as parents,
mm,
we hold on to these secrets
my God.
and we don't tell our children the truth.
Hmm.
And sometimes, yes, depending on the situation, because I know that every context is different.
Mhm.
Depending on the situation, maybe you may have to make a hard decision
Yeah.
to maybe tell your child some kind of. I'm not saying it's right.
Mm.
Tell your child something because of the situation.
Yeah.
But in some cases, it's like nah. It's like no, because it really does affect the child. Especially,
Mm.
you have children growing up. They're going to school. They're seeing two parents. They're seeing their mother. They're seeing their father.
Yeah.
But you, as that child, all you're seeing is your mother, or you're wondering like, where's your father at?
Hmm.
You're constantly in your mind. You're seeing all your other peers. Their fathers come in. Their mothers come in. You see that kind of family setup, but you don't have that. And you're constantly asking questions, or maybe you've been told a narrative, and the narrative that you've been told, you then later find out that it's not true.
Yeah.
You see the secrets and the lies?
Mm.
And some of us, we have this propensity. I don't know if it's a cultural thing where we hold things happen to us in our life. We don't want to talk about it, maybe because of
Bottle it
shame,
up. Bottle it
because
up.
of guilt. Yeah, because of shame, because of guilt, because of the times that you were actually living in. There are certain things that it was deemed disgraceful for you to, let's say, for example, basically things were hidden. But then
That's our
sometimes in
culture,
the
bro.
long
We don't chat our
yeah,
business.
yeah,
That is
yeah,
our culture. We don't
yeah,
like people knowing our business.
yeah,
And that
yeah,
is a lot of
true,
what causes a lot of the setbacks. Things
yeah,
aren't
true,
getting talked about. Things are.
yeah.
It's serious. It is.
I know of someone. The interesting thing is that I know of someone who was, listen to this, yeah, this is
Mm.
mad. I know of someone who was an only child. Well, they believed that there was an only child.
Mm.
Um, believed that there was an only child, and they were always asked questions about their father,
Yeah.
and they were just told this story. This mad story was just made up, and as far as they was concerned, this was the story. But then, as years went by, people started talking and
Yeah.
started saying, "Well, that's not how the story go. I
Wow.
lie that it's not the truth."
Wow.
Only to discover that the individual was spending a lot of time with this particular, let's say, this particular family friend.
Oh my God.
When I say this family friend was always around, they was friends with with their mother, with the person's mother. So as a result, you know, there was this close because they all came from the same place in from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So there was this close unit between the mother, the child, and this other person, only to discover after so many years that this other person was actually the sibling of the child.
Wow.
Didn't know anything.
Wow.
Wasn't told. Was this big old secret? I'm talking about for years. So
Wow.
they're thinking that this is just a family friend, this is just a friend to the mother, but the child then later finds out that this person is actually their bigger sister,
Wow.
and then discover that they've got more brothers and sisters.
My.
Just madness,
My.
you know. So it's like
Secrets,
but,
lies,
yeah,
denial.
yeah,
So
I'm
much.
telling you. I'm telling you, and people go to their grave with stuff and they don't tell,
It's
and
not
it
nice.
just, it's not nice. But anyway, open the phone lines and let's see what the
Let's
what
open the phone lines.
listening
Let's
audience
play the disclaimer,
display.
and then we'll proceed. Let's do this.
Disclaimer. This group takes no responsibility and will not accept liability for any communication via discussions or other modes of communication from individuals or as a separate entity that causes offence. We do not aim to purposefully generate anything that is intentionally malicious or slanderous. Our aim is not to provide misleading information that could lead to harm of any nature.
Interact and call the studio on 07534 610 422. Interact and call the studio on 07534 610 422. Interact and call the studio on 07534 610 422.
So tonight we have told you so much. We was kicked off by telling you we watched the Kirk Franklin video, the video that's been going around over the last couple of days. But we are bringing certain elements of that to the show tonight, and we're asking the question: have you been denied of something from someone you love? Have you been lied to by someone you love? Have you been shut out by your family, friends, or even the church? What have you done about this? Who did you turn to? Have you just lived with it? Or have you tried to get to the bottom of the issue with nothing but barriers in your way? Who, if anyone, has helped you? Have you given up on fixing the issue? Do you currently need help? Have you been helped and have now become the helper? These are just a few things we're asking tonight. Phone lines are open. Give us a call.
Interact and call the studio on 07534 610 422.
Wow. I wonder how the father's feeling, man. Wonder how the father...
What, his father?
His father, yeah. He's
Can you just imagine? After so many years.
He never ever knew.
But one of the, yeah, he never knew. But one of the things also that Kurt said in the video is that there has been, this is something that this is not something that's new to him. He's had many people. Or did he say many? Well, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but he said this has happened to. He's gone through this process before of people coming to him and saying to him that I'm your potential father.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, having to go through that time and time again, and then to be disappointed, and then, you know, a conversation is derives from a funeral service.
Wow, imagine
where this man is saying that how at some point in time in his life he had some type of relationship with Kurt's mother, and then that's where it just stems from there. Everything just kind of like somewhat takes off from there. So it's you know it must just imagine, you know, and obviously the father, you knowing who Kirk Franklin is, you know, he's an award gospel artist, you know, he's, as you said, you know, he's well known, and all these years you don't know that this young man is your son, only to find that out. Yeah, I mean, but we, you know something, to God be the glory, and we give God thanks, because I kind of like felt in the conclusion of the video, it was as if like you can kind of start to see the healing
take
place.
Stay there. Let's take this call.
Okay.
Hi, caller. Good evening.
Hello, 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 hello.
Hi, good evening.
How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
Good, good, good.
What would you like to say on tonight's
nice
topic?
conversation.
Great. What would you like to say on the topic?
Wow.
Have you seen the video? Have you seen the video?
Huh?
Have you seen the video?
I've seen it in entirety. I've seen everything. I've seen the whole thing.
Right.
And it's about anyway. It's the first time I'm ringing the talk show.
Great.
And good evening going out to Joshua Kesler and Brother Charles. Good evening
How
going out
you
to you
doing,
guys.
bro? I just recognize the word.
It's Dave P here.
God bless you,
Right.
sir. God bless you. Hang on. Did you say it's the first time ringing a talk show?
Yes, indeed. Yes. I don't normally ring a talk show, but I do listen. All right.
Oh, wonderful.
Now,
God bless you.
Kirk Franklin's story is one of, in terms of what many fathers or many parents, both male and female, are going through.
Yeah.
And if you look at it from the church point of view, when you say who can really help, I still believe the help is not there because too many secrets are being brushed under the carpet.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, let's just pray about it. Oh, I tell you what, you go and deal with that by yourself. But at the end of the day, we have counselors, but they're not being used in that sense anyway.
Yeah.
I was really heartbroken in terms of what Kirk was going through. And something which Joshua mentioned about, he didn't say, but he said some came through and said, I'm the father.
Yeah.
And the point about Kirk Franklin, that he had to bury a man who he thought
This is the thing.
was the father.
This is the thing.
And in his eyes, in his face, you would have think, wow, that is a bit heavy. I just buried a man who I thought was my father, and he wasn't. Imagine being next door to your neighbor or across the road, and you're looking at this man, or you see him in a circle. I wonder. And then there's a part where, how should I put it, where the mother is in self-denial.
Yeah.
Keeping certain things away because she probably doesn't want to go back there for whatever reason, but he still has a right to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's his right. It has nothing to do with her. And I was a bit disappointed in terms of how, in terms of how some women or mothers react to certain things like that. Yeah. We all are different. Men may do the same thing as well, but I was disappointed in how the mother reacted to that. And could you imagine, even the auntie, if you've known about it for years, and you see this little boy up and down, getting to different people, living in different houses, or just feeling kind of down. I don't have a dad. I don't have a role model. And I think that's the main reason why Kirk Franklin had a little bit of a problem when he was kind of getting a bit more mature, because he didn't have a proper role model. Which would have been a true father in his life. Yeah. So it's something I know about, and it's something I experienced in my life. So I know, and I can relate.
It was just disappointing to see the mother deny the first test, and she wanted to see it for her own eyes, and when she saw it for her own eyes, she denied it again. And how hurt he felt, you could see he almost felt disgusted by the look in his face.
Well, I could and I could also I could see it on both sides of the fence, and the pain of going back there. But the fact remains that you still have to recognize this son needs to know. Yes, is it? Yes, it is. Don't deny me that, right?
Yeah.
And now look, you may not even get that relationship that you wanted with your son on a full level because of the denial.
Yeah.
But she could have earned maybe a bit of respect from him, is what I was thinking. You might not have that relationship. Too much years have gone by, water under the bridge, but maybe he would have just turned around and said, you know what, Mum? Okay. You know, I understand.
I hear you.
Let's try and start again. Let's try and communicate even.
One of the beautiful things I think you said, Charles, about his battle with his own son.
Yeah.
And, you know, that just kind of rekindled a lot of things. And I think the son, I mean, he wanted a grandfather.
Yeah.
And you could see in his eyes.
Yep.
And he, when I saw them, I mean, you don't see sons hug.
No.
You don't see fathers hug. And touch his face and say I love you. It was so good to see.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, I always tell my sons every single day, even when I tell them off, I say, you know what, Daddy loves you. After it's important to give him a hug, and to see that on the screen, that is a good example of how you should be, no matter what, because you are the dad, you're the father, and you're playing this role model. Just how God is to you, you have to be the better person, because this person is still growing up, trying to get some sort of experience in life. And it's about respect as well on both sides. Yeah. Well, there you go.
You said I don't want to go into your business, bro, but you said you could relate to certain elements.
I could relate to certain events in my life, you know, back in the day and stuff like that, and that's just the way it is. Things happen for a reason, you know. And I'm still here today. I mean, at one point, I thought I was just gonna do some things to myself.
Wow.
You know, that's what I'm saying to you. Wow. So these things, you know, if I didn't take a second look or have good people around me. Amen. You know, and the target was, I'll pray for that person first. Amen. But then the father's left in the background, isn't it? So, Absolutely. I'm not saying all cases are like that, but I'm just saying in some cases. But you know, I for myself, I have experienced things like that in my life, so I know, you know, and I've had other men speaking to me what they've been through, you know, and you know, women too, but mostly fathers who are trying their best to stand their ground, because this is their legacy is disappearing in front of their face.
Absolutely.
And this, what we don't want this in our society, and we don't want this in our so-called Pentecostal churches or churches. And I say Pentecostal churches because sometimes it's, I say again, brushed under the carpet because of this Pentecostal behavior. Yeah. And it's not supposed to be like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So true.
Well, there you go, Charles.
God bless you. Thank you for your call. I feel honoured.
No,
a man of your stature.
And Joshua, thank you so much. Thank you.
God bless you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Dave P, the legendary Dave P. God bless you, sir. Take care. Bye for now. Okay. Dave P has kicked us off. Wonderful. What would you like to say on that, Josh? Anything you want to pick up on what he said?
No, I think he just kind of I think everything he said I'm in total agreement with. You know, I just think that, you know, you have so many fathers out there who and I know it's not the same for everyone, but you know, you have fathers out there who struggle to be fathers because they don't know who their father is. You know, have no sense of identity, no sense of direction, and they have no template to work from. And they're trying their best to do the best that they can. And I know it can be challenging for some men, you know, in terms of learning, really trying their best to rear boys or to rear men or just to raise a family. Yeah, it can be challenging because they have, as I said, they have no template or no role model to work from. And I know, you know, we can, as Christians, we can say things like, you know, the Bible does say that the God that we serve, he is a father to the fatherless. And yes, I do believe that God can teach us if we connect ourselves to him. He can teach us these things. He can give us an identity. Because one of the things I remember is that, you know, when Jesus went down into the water to be baptized by John, you know, the Bible tells us that the heavens were open and a sound came from heaven where the Heavenly Father said, "This is my son." So right there, we see that the Father is giving his son his identity. This is my son in whom I am well pleased, etc., etc. But if you don't have that, if you don't have that grounding or that understanding, or your father's just not in your life for whatever reason. And funny enough, I was actually having a conversation, just really funny. We're having this conversation tonight. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was talking about a particular relationship that he was in.
Yeah.
It was kind of a relationship that he was in, and the lady that he was in a relationship with, she wanted to have a child. And he was all for it, but her stance was, oh, well, we can have a child, but you don't have to do anything. I'll take care of everything. I'll take care of the responsibility. Even if you don't want to be around, you don't have to be around. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. If I'm going to have a child with you, I'm going to be in that child's life. I want to be a part of that child's life, because it's important for the child to have both parents. But then you have some individuals, and it was interesting because you do actually have some females who actually think like that. Maybe because, let's say, for example, their biological clock is ticking, they want to have a child, they don't particularly care if the father's around or not.
Yeah.
They just want to have the child. So it's like, you just give me what I need.
Be the donor. Yeah.
If you don't want to be a part of this relationship, if you don't want to commit, that's absolutely fine.
I'm good with that, yeah.
I just want the child. And you're a nice person, you're a great candidate, blah 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 blah. And sometimes people do take that route. And some fathers may decide, well, yeah, okay, you want to have a child, then have the child, but I'm not going to be in the life. But as I said, we can see from this story that KIRK really wanted to have a relationship with his father. He wanted to know who his father was.
Yeah,
he wanted to know. And there are children out there, and this is to the mothers. I know sometimes fathers irk their responsibility, and you have to rear the child yourself, but there are fathers out there who want to have a relationship with their children, and some of you are preventing them from doing so.
Wow.
And for some of the reasons are. But if we really was to sit down and really think about some of the reasons are petty. And if you think that by withholding your child, because this is something that's passionate to me, if you think by withholding your child from that father is showing your child that you love them, it's not. You may have good reason, as I said, each context is different.
Yeah.
But if you know to yourself that the father wants to have a relationship with that child, let the father have a relationship with this child, because you could, as much as you're the mother, you could never be a father. Never. We often hear this story. Oh, well, I'm the mother and the father.
No, you playing both roles. Yeah.
You can never. Let me just. I know some of us don't like to hear it, but you could never be a father. Never.
It's like the father can't be the mother. He can do some of the things, but he can't do everything.
That's right.
It's just the same.
The role of the father is important. And as I said, there are fathers, there are children, and it goes both ways. There are children out there who want to have a relationship with their father, but it's been prevented because the mother's angry about something that the father did.
Stay there, bro. Let's take this call again. Hi, good evening, caller.
Good evening. Can I speak to Brother Charles?
Speaking.
Hello, Brother Charles. What radio station are you on?
We're on several radio stations at the moment. Are you listening or watching the show live?
No, I'm not. I didn't know you. I just got a number from a flyer.
Okay, right. Well, you can go to take this website down.
Sorry?
Take the website down.
Okay.
www.
Yeah.
Brother Charles, spelled BROTHA.
Charles, yeah.
And Charles, CHARLES.
Yeah, I got that.
.UK.
.UK.
We're on YouTube as well.
Okay.
And it's the CHATBOUT talk show on YouTube. The CHATBOUT. And that's CHATBOUT, all one word. All right.
Talk show. Okay. Can I just say something? Are you on live now?
We're live now. We're live.
Oh, can people hear me?
They can hear you. Yeah, you're live.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So
I'll tell you briefly what we're talking about. If you can contribute, would be nice. Have you seen the story going around about Kirk Franklin, his father, the Father's Day story?
yeah, I haven't watched all of it, but I have watched some of it.
Okay, on what you've watched, what have you taken from that?
It's not that much. I was just was saying that it was watching that the father, he thought he still left anger there that he hadn't, healed. He was still angry with the man, and the man had passed away. He thought it was his father.
That's right.
And then the other part where his father, I don't know if he's still alive, but he found out who his father. So his mum had lied to him.
That's correct. That's correct.
But I didn't. I need to go and finish.
Go and have a full watch of it again. I'm taking elements of that story and bringing it into tonight's show. And we're asking questions such as: have you been denied by someone close to you?
Okay.
Have you been lied to by someone you love? Have you been shut out by your family or friends or even the church? What have you done about this? Who did you turn to? Have you just lived with it, or have you tried to get to the bottom of the issue with nothing but barriers in your way? Who has helped you? Have you given up on fixing the issues? Do you need help? Have you been helped, or are you now the helper? And who? We're just asking some of these questions. We're taking certain elements out of the video and bringing it into tonight's show. But yeah, definitely log on to the show, and catch up on the video later on. And if you can come back and share, it would be good.
Okay.
Sorry, what was your name, sis?
My name's Andrea.
Andrea, God bless you. We'll speak soon, Andrea.
Okay, thank
Take
you.
care. Bye for now. Wonderful. Okay. Evangelist, some folks think they can win the unsaved, but if the spirit of the devil is stronger than the Christian is, can take them over. So to go in that era, you have to be prayed up. Okay. Is there anybody that's seen the video, or is there anybody that can relate to the questions we have asked this evening? Have you been denied of something from someone you love? Have you been lied to by someone you love? Have you been shut out by your family, friends, or even the church? Because it does happen in the church.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done about this? Who did you turn to? Have you just lived with it, or have you tried to get to the bottom of the issue with nothing but barriers in your way? Who has helped you? Have you given up on fixing the issues? Do you need help? Have you been helped and now become the helper? Who helped you? Those are just a few of the questions. There was just so much. I'm just thinking now, what else did we miss in the, what haven't we covered?
I think we've pretty much covered everything that's been highlighted in the video. I don't think there's anything that we've kind of somewhat missed out. I think we've covered everything pretty much.
Betrayal,
yeah.
Lies, denials.
Yeah, lies. Yeah.
Makeups, breakups.
Yeah, make-up stories. And I think before the last caller, I think one of the things I was saying is that we need to stop lying to our children. Stop telling your children lies. Stop doing it. Stop lying to your children.
Using them as pawns.
Yeah, using them as. This is one thing, because the thing is because at some point it may turn around and it will work. It will not work in your favor, because if that child ends up finding out the truth of the matter, it could turn in your favor, where that child could end up resenting the mother based on the fact that you've been telling that child so many lies about their father or their mother, because it works in both cases. But in most cases, it's the children mainly end up with the mother. And dependent on how that relationship dissolved, that's when, you know, the lies are then now birthed.
Yeah.
Even some parents are so skilled to the point where they even get the children to lie.
Jeez. Wow.
Stop telling the children lies. Tell them the truth.
It's
Sometimes
all they've
it's
known.
painful.
It's all they've known. It's all they've seen. It's all they've been told. So it becomes the truth.
And then the thing is, and then this is the other thing. That was maybe this is one of the things we didn't highlight in the video. You've told your child this, but then there's this rumor going on in the background. You've told your child this, but then there's this rumor going on around where this one is saying this, and this one has said that, and this one. And when you walk in the room, you know, you get the side eye, you get the side eye. You pick it up. Why are people looking at me with this weird kind of look? Because there's different stories going around. So your mum has told you one thing, but then the community knows something else.
Wow.
Them no, they know that that's not how the story goes. You understand what I'm saying? And you're living in this situation where you're feeling like, right, so who's telling me? Who is my mum? Is my mum really? Well, it's my mum. I would expect that my mum or my dad will be telling me the truth. But are they? But you guys are saying this, but then the community or other people or other family members is saying something else. Listen, tell the children the truth.
Yeah.
I've seen cases where I watch a lot of things on social media. Like there was this thing that I got caught up watching a few years back, which is called Paternity Court. I don't know if you've ever seen it with this judge. It's in America.
Yeah.
Where
is it the black female judge? Is it?
Yes. And when you watch some of those cases, bro,
some madness. Stay there, bro. We get back to the black female judge. Hi. Good evening.
Good evening, Brother Charles.
Minister Jean, how are you?
I am doing well, thank you, sir. Yourself?
Praise the Lord. I'm well, thank you.
Oh, hi, Minister Joshua.
Blessings. How you doing, sis?
Yeah, I missed you for 2 weeks. I didn't see you on here. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
It is well. It is well.
Yeah, it is well, definitely.
It is well. Okay. Listening to your broadcast, very good. I have not watched the video, Kirk Franklin. I think it was last year sometime I saw a little bit of it, but I can't comment on it because I really didn't know the fact of it. But listening to you, Brother Charles, and
this is a new one, sis. This has just come out.
Oh no, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. I'm gonna post the link after the show. When it should be just before the show ends, I will post the link. When you get a chance, go and have a look. But this is a new video. There was something circulating a year or two ago.
Yes.
But no, this is completely different.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm listening, and I'm looking back in the West Indies, and I looked at, on a whole, if it's a cultural thing, because what I noticed that they used to do is the extended family. Yeah. And what they would do, you have like a family might have like 5 or 6 children. Mm-hmm. Might come and says, okay, I like, say a name, give a name, say Jean. Can I have Jean? She can come and live with me. And apparently what I noticed that they might not say, they wouldn't say no. Basically they'll send this particular child to this person. And then obviously they take this child as their own, some of them, they'll grow them up. Some of them would tell them basically that I'm not your parent, that is your mom. Yeah. So wondering, that is your dad. They would take that child and thinking, okay, is that you're my mom, you're my dad. And some of them would let them, the kids think, oh, I'm your mom, and that's your dad. Mm. And I wonder if this is where it stemmed from, guys, because it's right up to 21st century. We still see a lot of children. I work with children before and see where the absent fathers are. Yeah. Like basically you have to read the story and it will tell you about the family background. So it's very private and confidential. So it's not, you can't open up and hear some of the stuff that you see. Yeah. It's basically where they have the absent fathers, and the mother, as Joshua has just said, you can't play the role of a father, never will do. And I find that some of the mothers would take that role on,
And so that child get confused, right? And so you find now they would go out and find like a male figure because they're looking to a father. They says, where's my dad?
Yes.
And I noticed some of these ladies, I'm not knocking them, but they would say, I don't know where he is. Or some of them would know, or they would get into another relationship. And they would like, depends on the age of the child, they would say, that's your dad. And then growing up thinking that is my dad, and then later on find out that's not my real dad. So exactly. I'm wondering now how you actually open up the show, if a lot of people would call in and give their views, because I think I'm looking way back where this is coming from. Mm-hmm. And I, especially in the church, that a lot of stuff been like Pentecostal and the whole would push under the carpet.
Yes.
You know, that's your cousin, that's your auntie, and you don't know that's your blood sister, blood brother, and which is wrong. And as you all say, that don't lie to your children, speak the truth, because it will affect that person badly. I have a story that I've written about myself, and I wouldn't say it on here, but similar circumstances when I was in the Caribbean, literally age at 5. And to be honest with you, I actually gone through that, literally gone through the same. I knew who my parents were, but the story is that it was 10. My man had 10 of us in our family, and I was the 7th one. And apparently what happened, guys, my mom, her uncle, her brother has got money, he's rich, and, you know, they're always thinking, oh, he's got a big house, he's got this, he's got that.
Yeah.
I've got, and you can have one. And exactly what I just shared with you happened.
Wow.
You know what? I was only 5 years old. This particular person turned up and you know, and basically it was the heart of the country. I can remember I had to do a story at age 40. I had to go back and ask my parents why they did what they did.
Yeah.
Do you see the knock-on effect it has?
Did you get straight answers?
Yeah, because the both of them say to me, because they had money and we couldn't help, you know, their family, extended family, and he could help us out. Okay. And this reason why. Okay. Do you get me?
Okay, got
but
you.
It's a really knock-on effect. And even I was doing a story, I was doing a course in Tottenham College. I never forget that. And we had to write a story at age 5. Can you remember something dramatically happened to you?
Yeah.
That cost us pain? And I had to remember that story. It never left. But I tell you what, out of the bad come good, because that's where we had a storm. And basically I knew as a 5-year-old, I used to see my parents pray. I didn't know how to pray. I loved to pray, but I didn't know how the right words to put it together. But I know that there's a God, and I always hear they talk about Jesus, and so forth. I was scared because there was this storm, and I was with this particular person that they sent me to. And this was my uncle who took me away, told my parents, I'm taking her because we've got no children. And I'm not afraid to open up an ear, whoever listening, but I'm telling you, it's a serious thing that we need to get right, because it has a knock-on effect on the person who it happens to. And I thank God for Jesus that I can stand here and say, well, it's like sharing a testimony how God is good.
Amen.
And so basically, this lady was abusing me, really abusing. I was only 5. She was doing things to me. I did not wash. You got to wash these clothes. Can you imagine? You got to wash these plates. I was scared. And like she would leave me locked up during the day and go out because she used to sell in the market. My parents don't even know where I was. Mm-hmm. They thought my uncle, he's got money. She's doing well. She's okay. So you know how God worked it out? She would literally send me to the shop. I went to this little shop, guys, and there was this lady sitting there. And she said, like, hi, little girl. I never forget. She said, hi. She goes, what's your name? And what the Lord gave me, my name, my parents' name, my mom, dad, the district where I come from. So I use it as, I call that in life, that was my passport. Okay, so when you ask me my name, I will tell you Leanna Jean Getfield. Mm-hmm. My mom is Alice Getfield. My dad is Gutson Getfield. I live in a district area called Manchester. Mm-hmm. And she says, okay, and what are you going to buy with this money? I didn't even know what the coins were, brown money, white money. And I spent the shop. She said, okay, do you know who that was? My sister.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
that was my sister. She came to see her cousin. And so then she was shocked. So she didn't say anything to me. She just left, went back and got my family, got everybody together, get my mom and dad. They came up. And so, but during the storm, I remember I said I was scared. So I cried out 3 times. It was, Lord, have mercy, have mercy. And the wind stopped. Everything stopped. As a 5-year-old, you're thinking, where's this power? What's this? And there was a love. There was a cohesive pull, a magnetic pull that pulls my little heart. And up to this day, I'm talking to you, it never leaves me.
Praise God.
And so this is why I could love people the way I do. And so who are listening, this is my story. And I tell you, parents out there, I've worked with children, the same thing. Please own up to the family. Don't hide it. If you have a sister, if you have a brother, it might be out of wedlock. It might not be what you desire to be, but tell them the truth, because it really does hurt. And I grew up with that. I forgive. One thing you have to forgive, because who do I forgive? My parents, my dad. But at least right up to that age, I wonder why they did, because out of all 10, I was the only one that they did that too. And they've gone home, and I make it right by going back to them and ask them the reason why, got an answer, and I move on from there. But I've written a book about it, but I have not got through to it yet, because I had to do that as a subject in uni, not college actually. And the young lady who typed it out, she came up and she looked at me, she read it. She says, like, what make you smile? What make you laugh the way you do? And she says, you've been through that at that age, and you're smiling, you're happy, but it's because of the love of Christ. And because at that present time, when I called his name, that love, that it wrapped me in it, in that love that never leaves me. But it's amazing, guys.
Praise God.
Please, when I share, whoever listening, that's a story I told, which is very personal, but I'm thinking that might help someone.
Definitely.
It might help someone. So thank God for Jesus, because I'm still here, can tell the story.
Amen.
I grew up and I would share that with other people, and I would tell my own kids how to love them. They have their children. Don't leave them. Stay with them. Look after them. This is your role that you're supposed to do. And it's not nice when your son, your daughter are out there asking you, where's my dad? Where's my mom? And you're telling them a different story. Please be let's change. We're in 21st century. Let's change this pattern. Right?
Yes,
so this is my little story, Brother Charles.
God bless you. Thank you for sharing this evening, sis.
Yes, it was hard for me, but still I felt that it's knock-on effect. So when Kirk Franklin is hurting, I can understand.
You can understand.
I can understand.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he was the same age, roughly. I think he said 4. He got adopted at the age of 4.
Okay.
So you were roughly the same age as well. So Wow.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
For the show.
Brilliant. Thank you for your courses.
Okay, bless you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye for now.
Bye.
Wow, what a story there, Minister Joshua.
Yeah, exactly. See?
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. Crazy. The things, I tell you, I think one of the things that came up in the video, and Sister Minister Lena has just also highlighted it, the trauma that it can have on an individual when you experience these kind of things. It can be very traumatic.
Yeah.
And it can really affect a person as it relates to their life. It's like you're trying to take 2 steps. You've taken 2 steps forward, but then you just end up right back, stuck, because you feel as if, like, I don't know who I am. I don't know where I've come from, or why is this happening to me? There's so many different questions and emotions that's kind of taken you over, and you're just thinking all kind of things.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you may lose control, and maybe even, as I said, you start to act inappropriate or behave inappropriately. And that's why I want to reiterate the point that let us not be too quick to cast judgment when we see people acting or doing things because we don't know what they've gone through. Let's try to come alongside and encourage and support and to pray and to help people. And I think what was it? Was it last week we was doing mental health?
Yes.
Was it?
It was last week. Yeah.
I think you know, that's why it's important that churches have certain things in place. I think one of the things that the pastor was talking about is having a type of, what would I say? You know, we have various ministries within church. We have prayer ministry, we have deliverance ministry, we have praise and worship ministry. Maybe we need to have a healing ministry, which comprises of, you know, you have therapists, you have counselors, who can assist, who are willing to assist or to provide that support to individuals who may be going through traumatic experiences that has, you know, really rocked and shaped the foundation of their life, and they just need to just talk it through, and go through that process of healing. Absolutely. But yeah, it can be extremely challenging. Absolutely. I just think, as I said, tell your children the truth. Stop telling them lies about their parent, be it the mother or the father. Tell them the truth, because look at now, when we look at Kirk Franklin's situation with his mother, I pray that there will be reconciliation, and I pray that she will come to the realization of what she has done, and the you know, and I'm sure she's feeling guilty, or she's feeling away, and I believe that in time, you know, God will bring about healing. But look at also what. But there could be a possibility that there could be that divide. You know, there could never be that reconciliation, so to speak, because, you know, people feel so hurt and betrayed. So that's why it's important to speak the truth. It's the truth that will set us free. Sometimes the truth does actually hurt. Yeah. Sometimes we don't want to speak the truth because we feel as if that we're trying to protect the individual. Absolutely. But you know something? Sometimes it's best to speak the truth, because when it comes out, all times, it's always best to speak the truth. When it comes out, it can cause major problems. Yeah. Major problems in the long run. We've got a message here saying, children aren't stupid. They listen with their eyes. Children aren't stupid. They listen with their eyes. Yes.
Interact and call the studio on 07534 610 422. Interact and call the studio on 07534 610 422.
We're asking, have you seen the Kirk Franklin video that's been circulating over the last couple of days? Have you been denied of something from someone you love? Have you been lied to by someone you love? Have you been shut out by your family, friends, or even your church? What have you done about this? Who did you turn to? Have you just lived with it? Or have you tried to get to the bottom of the issue with nothing but barriers in your way? Who has helped you? Have you given up on fixing the issue? Do you need help? Do you need help? Have you given up on fixing the issue? Do you need help? Have you been helped and have now become the helper? And who helped you? Who helped you? We're asking these and more questions this evening. Some great callers so far. Do you want to join that calling list?
Interact and call the studio on 07534 610 422.
To remember, you don't have to mention any names, any locations. Even if you don't want to call in, you can send me a WhatsApp message, and I will relay your message for you. That's if you don't want to call in. We've got the live chat if you want to type in the chat. But as I said, if you want to remain anonymous, it's all good. You can WhatsApp me in the studio, and I will read out your message on your behalf if that's what you choose. But it's a serious one. It really has so many. This story has so many elements. And as I said, if it's not one element, two elements, three elements of the story, 4 or 5 elements of the story, maybe all of the elements of the story you can relate to. You've just heard from our sister, who has just shared about her parents and her growing up, what she had to endure.
Yeah, because the thing is, one of the things that could actually happen, and I think I said it in the earliest parts of the show, in terms of when you have been adopted or you go through that system, in some cases children can be abused. We heard Minister Lena talking about when she was being abused, and these things do actually happen to children. Unfortunately, they do actually happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes through the system, they get passed from one family to the next, and you have some fantastic individuals out there who provide great homes for children. But then on the other hand, you go into some situations and it's like all kind of things happen to you, and that could really affect you in a big way. Can be a very, very traumatic experience, depending on the people you end up being connected with.
Yeah.
Sometimes even if you're not, let's say, for example, placed within a home. This is not really my field, so somebody who's more experienced may be able to assist me in this. But like if they place you in some kind of care home or some kind of home where you're in some kind of, let's say, a dormitory with young children waiting to be, let's say, for example, assigned a home.
Mm-hmm.
During that process, within that particular establishment, a whole load of things could go on. Abuse, manipulation, all kind of stuff. Yeah, I was going to touch on something, but I'm not going to go there. But yeah, a lot can happen. A lot can happen where kids are taken advantage of. So
absolutely,
it can be very traumatic, very traumatic.
Absolutely.
And that's why I think one of the things we often say on this show, that regardless of what you're going through, find someone to talk to.
Absolutely. Talking
is therapy.
Yeah.
Find someone who you trust, some trusted individual that you can speak to and you can get things off your chest. Don't walk around in isolation, allowing this thing to weigh you down, and keep you bound and keep you isolated and keep you away from people. Talk to someone, get it off your chest.
We always say a problem shared is a problem halved.
But listen,
imagine half of the weight just being lifted off you.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I will say, and I've said this before, is that in your vulnerability, just be careful who you speak to in your vulnerability.
That is the other thing.
Be very careful. Because not everybody who comes around or sniffs around during your time of vulnerability is actually for you. They just want to know your business.
That's the other thing.
Yeah. And they want to take your information and disseminate it to whoever. Some people actually have this natural propensity to they love to see the demise.
Yes,
because of jealousy or because of envy. They're just waiting for that moment to see you fail.
Fall, yeah.
So be careful who you speak to in your time of vulnerability.
Yeah.
Make sure you speak to somebody who you know is confidential, somebody who is trusted,
professional,
somebody who has integrity, somebody who's. And sometimes, you know what I find? Sometimes I've had counseling sessions, and I feel more at peace speaking to a counselor who I don't even know than to speak to somebody that I do know.
Yeah.
In some cases.
Yeah.
Because I know you don't know me.
Yeah.
I don't know you from Adam.
Yeah.
And I can just speak freely. You don't know anyone in my circle. Well, I don't believe you do.
Yeah.
And it's more easier sometimes to speak to a stranger than to speak to somebody who you actually know. Because sometimes some of the people that we know, unfortunately, they cannot be trusted. But yeah, speak to someone. Absolutely. It's important.
Speak to us.
Interact and call the studio on 07 534 610 422.
Speak to us. Give us a call. We are asking, have you seen the Kirk Franklin video going around over the last couple of days? If you haven't, I am going to post a link before we leave this evening, and you can take that link and watch the video yourself. All right? But if you have seen it, then you know exactly where we're coming from tonight. We are asking several questions. Tonight's show is around being denied, being lied to, being mistreated. What else, Minister? What else? Deceived.
Yeah.
Wow. The unjust.
Yeah.
The bitterness.
Yeah, resentment.
My God.
Yeah.
My.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be truth. This is supposed to be the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Just crazy. Crazy. Crazy.
There's definitely one element that can relate. Everybody can relate to. Let's take this call. Hi, good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
This is Tracy Sutherland. I'm in the chat.
Good evening, Tracy. You all right?
Sure. Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Yeah, I bless you for your show, and
Thank
it's I haven't watched the Kirk Franklin movie as such yet, but I will this weekend.
Yeah.
You guys touched on a lot of things that will probably touch a lot of callers or listeners, to myself as well. One thing I can say is that, we underestimate children a lot. And we think that they don't hear, but they do. And they see it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it might not come out straight away, but it will come out in the things that they do or little things that they do, in drawings at school or whatever.
Yes.
I mean, I'm speaking from experience as well. I came from a big family, and I'm the second youngest. And even though my mum and dad were together for so many years, they've both gone home now. But I was still felt like I was in a single parent family because I didn't get any acknowledgement from my father.
Right.
And I recognised in my adulthood how that trauma rolled into my adulthood, growing up as a teenager and things like that. And, but through the years, I kind of, it's funny really how you kind of self-counsel yourself, especially when you feel you haven't got anybody you can go to. Mine was in laughter. I would laugh at myself. I would just try and be positive.
To what, make yourself feel better?
Yeah, make myself feel better. But also, I was still carrying that trauma. And when I gave my life, I got into church.
Yeah.
And I done that. Minister Joshua?
Minister Joshua,
said? Yeah, I made a decision of just, being free and telling my story. And at the time, people were very, very supportive, very, very supportive.
Wonderful.
But you have to be careful who you open up to. And I learnt my lesson big time. And that took me away from the church for many, many years.
Wow.
And it's only recently I rededicated my life.
Yeah.
Although I know, you're saved, but I just needed to take that time away because it brought back those memories of being rejected. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
When I was a kid. So I had to protect myself. But still knew that I wanted to have that relationship with Christ. It's just taken me now to really just rededicate my life. But I see it so differently now, though, because I think when you first get saved, you're a baby, aren't you?
Of course.
You go back to that childhood way, know, and especially when you've been through traumatic experiences in your life, once you accept Christ, you really become that child again. And that's what I experienced when I got saved. But I really look at it differently now. I see it as, it's not about the people. It really isn't. And it's not about what people have done to me. Some people just cannot deal with certain situations and are not trained to deal. Yeah, they're not equipped.
No.
And I find that in a lot of churches. Yes, it's great. We want to love each other. We want to help each other. We want to pray. But when we're dealing with people who have been through certain issues in their life that are very traumatic, we really need to dig deep and get the proper care within the church. Because you know what? You don't know what they're coming from. You don't know what they're going home to. You don't know who's talking to them and saying rare in their ear or wanting them to even take their life. In fact, I'm not going to lie. There was many times, even when I got saved, I did feel like that because it was so painful what God was taking me through. because I didn't want to deal with it, but God was taking me through that. But like I said, you know, the church that I became born again in, fantastic church.
Yeah.
You know, Bible-believing church. I was there for a reason. I learnt a lot, but I did feel that what I needed there was not there.
Right.
But I can't blame them for that personally, because you know what? Sometimes we just don't have them type of people available yet. God hasn't brought that about. But yeah, we have to be careful and I think this is where the spirit of discernment has to come in a lot in the church.
Absolutely.
Stop with the foolishness. Stop looking at women, men that are coming through the church that don't look like you. Yeah, and thinking, you know what, you're better than them or whatever. Stop it.
Yeah.
Because they can feel it. They can feel it. And we have to get to a point that, you know what, we have to accept everybody. If we're Bible believing, if we're believing the word of God, where God says that we must love everybody, love everybody. You know what? I know we're all human, and I know there's times that we get on each other's nerves, but certainly with situations like that, it is so crucial that we just wrap our arms around these people.
Yeah.
Absolutely love on them. And love on them, you know, because they need that love. Yeah, absolutely. But I do believe God is raising up people,
you
know, to do that, to equip the church with that. You know, I think with myself and the lady that rang in, you know, what she went through, what I went through, it's all for a purpose. It's all for a reason.
Absolutely.
You know, because we're lacking certain things in church. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. But you know, your show's a blessing.
Brilliant.
And it's funny how I just sort of, you know, landed on your page. Yeah, and somebody just sort of who's listening, a good friend of mine, said you need to call in.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you stumbled along the page and you did call as well.
Yeah, amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sis. God bless. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's touching. This is true life. This is real life stories.
Yeah.
People has gone through this.
Yeah.
People have been hurt. People have been hurt.
Yeah. And let down. Yeah. Yeah.
I watched Kirk Franklin, the Father's Day story twice. I was very emotional, very deep story. There you go. We've got 35 minutes to go. Still a lot of time if you haven't called in yet. If you are thinking of calling in, and if you're not thinking of calling in but you really want to have your say, you don't have to call in. Send me a message, because I know this is very deep. It's very personal, and I know a lot of emotions could be running all over the place right now, especially if you have been through anything we've touched on tonight. You can just message me, all right? You don't have to leave your name, no locations, nothing. You could just message if you don't want to call in. But if you do want to call in,
interact and call the studio on 07534 610 422.
We would love to hear from you. Call in on that number.
Interact and call the studio on 07534 610 422.
Yeah. So many questions we've asked tonight.
Yeah.
So many questions. And you've heard so much as well. So the callers have just been tremendous this evening.
Definitely. Yeah. A lot of people can relate to that story. And I'm sure that if you haven't seen it, I think after Brother Charles puts the
link up
in the chat tonight, and you go and watch it, you will see how this small snippet of Kirk Franklin's life, how it plays out and how it concludes. But yeah, just to see the joy that he has is fantastic. No, it's like his dad was the missing piece of the puzzle, and he just wanted that one piece to make the whole thing complete, to make the whole thing whole. And I think that I'm sure it's still a journey. You know what I mean? They're both getting to know each other and to learn each other. But I'm sure he must be feeling ecstatic.
You say you say it's a puzzle that's kind of was missing the missing piece, and now he's found that piece. But I think he might have found that piece, but lost one of the pieces he's had before.
Yeah, true. That's true.
Because his mum just.
That's true.
His mum just kind of.
She kind of
had the whole puzzle. The whole puzzle was almost there, and it's like she just kicked it kicked it apart.
Well, the thing is, she's decided not to be a part of the puzzle.
Well, this is it, so it can't be complete.
Because she's in denial.
It can't be complete.
Yeah, it can be complete.
It can be, she but she doesn't want it, and she's holding that last piece.
That's it.
And a puzzle isn't a puzzle unless it's complete.
Yeah, because one of the things that KIRK did actually say in the video, he says, "Can't you just give me this?
This is it."
Something along those lines. Can't you just admit?
Can't you just admit it? Basically, just said, just admit it. And she said no. She said no.
She said no.
She said no. It's true. It's lies. So it's like a puzzle with the center bit of that puzzle missing. It don't look good.
Yeah. Just mad.
Crazy.
Just crazy. But yeah, as I said,
what I did
the boy.
Mm-hmm. What I did. Another element to the story though is just look at his life though. Look at his life and what he's achieved.
Yeah, I know.
With all that's gone on, look at what he's achieved.
Amazing. To God be the glory.
Talent. You can't deny it. He's got talent. He has got talent. Despite whether he's good, bad, the best, the worst. Yeah. God's blessed him with a gift, and he has used that. Yep. He has definitely used that, and I know many people are blessed by his material and his work.
Definitely.
Regardless of what you want to say.
Yeah. Bruised to be used, mate. Yeah. Bruised to be used. The Bible talks about, all things work together for the good to them that love the Lord and are called according to his purposes. And that's the good, that's the bad, that's the indifferent.
Yeah.
And look how the Lord, even from trauma, from pain, God gifted this individual to write some amazing songs.
Absolutely.
That we all sing.
Work with the best.
Yeah.
In the gospel world, he's worked with the best of the best.
Yeah. Yes.
From the nobodies to the somebodies.
That's right.
We don't know the mother's story as to why she is in denial after 2 Zona tests. Something deep going on for her too. Now, this is another element that I was thinking about. I didn't actually mention it, but it's another element to the story. Why is she in such denial? Why? There's got to be a reason. It's an element that has to be taken serious. Why is she in such denial? Why?
I don't know.
Why? Why would it be?
I can't answer that question.
Why?
I can't, because the thing is, as I said before, the facts are there, the evidence is there.
The evidence is there.
The facts and the evidence are there for you to see in black and white. It's there for you to see.
When I saw how her sister behaved when KIRK pulled up outside her house, his aunt's house, for the first time in 23 years or whatever it was, before he saw his mother after 23 years, and he pulled up outside his aunt's house, and his aunt was going on, she was kind of going on bad from the the car door to the behavior she was when she saw the second test result and how she was speaking with her sister. She kind of toned it down a bit, and
you see, what the thing is, maybe she had her perception or her mindset was she was obviously supporting her sister until they'd done the second DNA test, and then she saw the results and she's thinking like, well, something here this cannot be a lie. So now she's maybe thinking differently, or thinking like, I've supported you over all this time. Yeah.
50 odd years I've supported you.
Yeah.
Have you been lying to me? Have you been lying to me?
Well, she has been.
We need to. There needs to be another part of the story. The mother needs to do her version there.
There's obviously something going on there. She's just in complete denial, and she needs to come to the realization that the facts and the evidence cannot lie. The proof is in the pudding. It's there in black and white.
Yep.
There's no getting away from that.
There's always three sides to the story.
Yeah, and of course, but the thing is, one of the things that the father did say is that at some point, or what came out of that conversation at the funeral, was that they had a relationship back in the day.
Yes. Yep.
He said that.
Yep.
He was sharing that with Kirk Franklin's, one of Kirk Franklin's singers.
Yeah.
He shared that information with this individual and told her that many years ago, him and Kirk's mum had a relationship.
We don't know how long it was for. It could have been a fling. It could have been a one.
Exactly. And the thing is, she didn't deny it.
No, not to my knowledge. I didn't hear her deny it.
She didn't deny it. So why can he not be a potential father? It's just like we was talking about earlier before one of the callers called up. We was talking about that paternity court. You know, where one of the things that will often happen is that when the judge will be asking questions, because obviously they're in the paternity court because they question the father, or the father is questioning the paternity of the child.
Yes.
So one of the questions that the judge will often ask is to the mother, have you had any other type of relationship with any other person around the time of conception, etc., whatever, not blah blah blah. These questions will be asked, because if you did, there is a possibility that there could be potentially more than one individual, let's say, to be deemed to be the father.
Yeah,
you're saying that this is the person, but it could actually be this
somebody
person
else,
or that person, depending on the amount of relationships or sexual encounters you may have had. These are questions that are asked. So for somebody to dismiss and say, well, no, and the thing is, I've seen so many cases on that show where you have mothers saying, oh no, I haven't slept with no one, but then when the results come through, the child is not the father's. So you're like, but you're standing there, you're saying no, I didn't do anything. But then when the results come through, even the father shocked, because you've convinced yourself. You're convincing everybody else, or you're making everybody else believe that there's no other potential father. Even to the point like you've actually convinced yourself to believe. But then when the results come through, the results say, he is not the father. It's just like, oh my God. And then after all of that fiasco, the judge has to come back to you again and ask you the same question. So are you saying,
there was somebody.
And then all of a sudden
you're
like,
I
think I have an idea.
It's when they don't have an idea is a problem.
True.
Hurt people, absolutely. Hurt people do hurt people. It's a serious one.
Interact and call the studio on 07534 610 422.
We've got 20 minutes to go. That's enough time for you to call in, have your say, and definitely share on the show tonight. We're asking, have you seen the Kirk Franklin video? If you haven't, it's not a problem. We're also asking a few questions around that video. Have you been denied of something from someone you love? Have you been lied to by someone you love? Have you been shut out by your family, friends, or even the church? What have you done about this? Who did you turn to? Have you just lived with it? Or have you tried to get to the bottom of the issue with nothing but barriers in your way? Who has helped you? Have you given up on fixing the issue? Do you need help? Have you been helped and have now become the helper? Let us know. So much to pick out of these questions tonight. and so many people can relate to 1, 2, 3, 4, if not all of those questions, or several parts of the video regarding Father's Day, Kirk Franklin.
Yeah.
Certainly can't be a publicity stunt. I'm pretty sure.
Nah.
Because it's too personal. He's gone right. He's gone right in. He's gone right in. It's unscripted.
He showed details.
Yeah.
He showed details that, I mean, there was a lot of detail in there.
Yeah.
There was conversations, recordings of voice notes.
Yeah.
There was a conversation when his doctor called him up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything was very explicit, very open for everyone, very transparent for everyone to see.
That was another thing. Did you see when the doctor called, his reaction?
Yeah.
And then did you see the son's reaction when he told him about his granddad?
Yeah, exactly.
It was exactly the same.
Yeah.
They actually carried on like the same person.
Yeah,
I said, wow. And that's what they said.
Yeah,
wow. That's what they kept saying.
Yeah.
Exactly how Kirk was exactly how his son was.
Yeah.
It was serious.
That's right.
It's serious.
That's right.
It's serious.
That's right. So said exactly the same words.
Yeah. And actually, I think the dad even said it as well. When he went to the dad and showed him the result.
Really?
I think the dad even said wow or something like that, and he
yeah. Mad.
Crazy.
Mad.
Absolutely
crazy.
But this is real life. This is real life.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
This is real life.
Okay. Yeah. I saw it on social media, and I saw someone sharing it, and I thought, let me just jump on and just watch this.
Yeah.
And it was very moving.
Yeah.
It was very moving. And you can, I know I can somewhat relate to that narrative, and I'm sure many other people can as well. It's powerful. It's powerful, man.
What have you got to say, listening, watching out there? If you've got anything you'd like to say, let us know.
Interact and call the studio on 07534 610 422.
Phone lines are open. We've had some great calls, some powerful calls, some real heartfelt calls from people that have been through it. They can talk about it because they've been there, they've done that. They can relate to what our brother's going through. How has it made you feel after watching it? If you haven't watched it, the questions we posed to you this evening, how do you relate to those? Someone you love has lied to you. Someone you love has denied you from something or someone. You've been rejected. Have you been rejected?
Yep.
You've been pushed away from your church brethren, those that you thought would embrace you.
Or sometimes it could be a thing where you've been made to believe that your father doesn't want anything to do with you when that's not the case. So that's another form of, you talked about rejection. Sometimes people could be led to believe that their father or their mother doesn't want anything to do with them. And lies. That is not the case.
You're being told lies. That's lies.
Yeah.
It's lies.
Yeah. And then you're walking around in your mind thinking like, you're walking around with this spirit of rejection, thinking that your father or your mother doesn't want anything to do with you, and that's not the case. That's just what you've been told. That's what you've been told.
Maybe you haven't got a family now. You maybe just been rejected by your family, and the only family you have got is your church brethren.
Yeah,
they are your true family, your church brethren. Your parents are your spiritual leaders. They've grown you up. They've nurtured you. They've loved you. They've shown you the love.
That's right.
Of Christ.
That's right,
and you feel comfortable around them. You feel like this is what love is. This is what family is. This is what this is how parents should show love to their child.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know who it was, one of the callers, there was a thought that came to my mind based on something that one of the callers said. But what I'm just going to say what came to my mind. I can't remember what was said, but whatever was said, these thoughts came to my mind about, especially young boys who, because they have no male model, or their father's not in their life, they seek to connect with other boys. That's why you find sometimes some of these boys, they find themselves involved in antisocial behavior, connecting to gangs because they want to feel a part of something. You know, so they go and join this group, or they join this gang, or and this becomes their family. This becomes their somewhat their identity. And they're trying to work this thing out themselves. And these are some of the things that some of our young men do. Get themselves involved in all kind of stuff, just trying to make sense of life.
Absolutely.
And that's why I'm appealing to mothers out there that if you know to yourself that the father is about, and you've held your children from the father based on whatever reason. As I said, some decisions have to be made as it relates to the welfare of the child, and sometimes you might need to put certain parameters or make a decision to say, well, no, I can't have the child around the father because of X, Y, Z. I can understand in those circumstances, but in some circumstances, no. You know that if you really be open and honest to yourself, you know that your reasoning behind stopping your children from seeing their father, when you really check it, is warped. And maybe having this conversation tonight is an opportunity for us to look within ourselves and make the necessary changes. Because if we really love our children, we will give our children what they need. And most importantly for children is that they need to have both mother and father in their lives. It's important. Absolutely important. And as I said before, sometimes fathers walk away. Mothers do it too. Maybe mostly fathers, but mothers do it too. Let's not get it twisted. Because sometimes, I like to be balanced, because sometimes we like to just home in on the fathers. Now, mothers do it as well. There are mothers who walk away from their children.
Absolutely.
And there are some great fathers out there who's taking care of their children. But if you know to yourself that you have planted a seed in the mind, maybe you might be thinking to yourself, oh God, well, it's too late now. It's too late. It's been 15 years since I've been keeping up this secret. Well, you know something? Maybe it's the time for you to tell the truth.
It's never too late.
Maybe the time has come, and this is the time for you to tell the truth. Because if that child grows up at some point in time and he meets that man who is his father or mother, whatever the case may be, and they hear the other side of the story, it may be woe unto you. And I'm sure you're not going to want that. So my encouragement to you, tell your children the truth. Stop telling them lies. Some of us, we just can't help ourselves. We just like to lie. And the Bible says that a lying tongue, because we often like to talk about abomination. God. A lying tongue is an abomination unto the Lord.
Absolutely.
It's one of the things that he hates.
That's right. Absolutely. Okay.
So maybe tonight is the night where you need to rethink and say, you know something?
Pick up the phone. Maybe even pick up the phone.
Yeah.
It's time to pick up the phone. It's never too late. Or send a message.
Never too late.
Call me in the morning.
Never too late. That's right.
Call me in the morning.
Never too late.
Go through that other person that you know is connected to them. If you can't get to them, you know somebody else that's connected to them. Go through that person.
Yeah. Or maybe you might find it challenging to do. Maybe you want to do it, maybe you may need to think about getting someone to act as a mediator to help facilitate the process, because you might be thinking to yourself, oh God, I've really messed up here. I want to make things right, but I'm fearful of what I may lose. But you know something? There's a saying: honesty is the best policy.
That's right. That's right.
Being truthful is the best thing.
That's right.
So I would encourage every listener out there, if you know that there is something that you need to fess up about, do it.
Absolutely.
Do it quickly.
This other thing as well is that's the problem.
Because not only will it set you're setting yourself free as well.
That's right.
Some people are bound by their lies, you know. They can't even function. They're so caught up and bound up in their own lies. Like, oh God. And it's like, it's like they have to just consistently just keep lying. Because they've told the lie, they have to anytime that conversation comes up, they have to consistently keep saying the same thing, or even maybe adding more to it.
There's come a time when you're gonna slip, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Just free up yourself.
Time when you're gonna slip.
Just free up yourself.
The other side to that as well is pride.
Yeah, true.
Pride.
True.
Pride
Big
getting in
one.
the way. You're too proud to admit that you were wrong. You're too proud to give in. You're too proud to say sorry. You're too proud to forgive.
Come on. No, I'm not saying sorry. I'm not doing this.
I'm not doing it first. I'm not making the first move. You're too proud.
Yeah, true. Sometimes we have to give up our own right just for peace sake. Sometimes.
It's a song I used to play back in the day. Shame and pride killing you.
Killing you, girl. Yes.
Shame and pride. Wow. Don't let it kill you. Don't let it kill you.
Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah.
We haven't got long, people. 5 more minutes or so, and then we are going to end the phone lines and wrap the show up. But what a show it's been. Very moving, very heartfelt, and we really thank those that have opened up and shared personal bits with us this evening. But the phone line's open. If you do want to call in, it's never too late.
Interact and call the studio on 07534 610 422.
It's not over till it's over, and we've got about 6 minutes left of the phone line, 6-7 minutes left of the phone line. So use it while it's available.
Interact and call the studio on 07534 610 422.
Okay, we haven't seen or heard from Pastor Owen. We trust he's well, and hopefully he will join us next week. But wow, what a topic! What a topic tonight!
Yes.
What a topic tonight, people. Those of you who are listening in silently as well. We know there's so many of you listening silently because so many of you tell me you're listening silently. If you are being affected in any way by this, please seek help. Speak to somebody. Don't pass it on. Don't pass what you've been through on to the next generation.
True. So true.
Speak. There's so many organizations that you can speak to anonymously. Speak to somebody. Speak to somebody about it. But, so many questions were asked. So many questions were asked this evening. There were so many elements to that video. I'm going to have to go back and watch it again. Actually.
Yeah.
As I said, I was only told about it on Saturday evening.
Okay.
Saturday evening. I didn't watch it. I watched it for the first time this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I said, that is something to talk about. Because it's real. And we keep it real on the show. We definitely keep things real on the show. We don't make up anything.
That's right.
So we do appreciate each and every one of you that do take the time to partake in the show, because the show wouldn't be the show without you partaking. CHATBOUT.
That's right.
Absolutely love it, man. Love it. Anything you want to add, bro?
No, not really. Not really. Just really want to. As I said, I just think it's important that we just, as a people, as it relates to the discussion that we are having tonight. I just think that honesty is the best policy. Just be truthful, just be open, just be transparent. I just think it's just so important that we do that, especially as well as believers. I know that not everyone who tunes into to CHATBOUT are I do believe that there's a lot of people that believe in God, but maybe some are not practicing Christians.
Yeah. And
I know that we're talking to a variety of people. But especially we have people within the life of the church who are in this kind of situation. I know of stories and cases where, fathers do not have the opportunity of seeing their children, and we have some of these, unfortunately, I have to say, we have some of our sisters who are in church who
denying.
What would I say, harbor up this type of behavior.
Wow.
And I know sometimes it's kind of, as you said, Brother Charles, we keep it real on this show. And I know sometimes hearing this for some individuals might be quite challenging.
It's hard, yeah.
But the Bible tells us that it's the truth that will set us free.
Amen.
And I believe it's important that we speak the truth. Some of us, we harbor this kind of behavior and we feel justified in our behavior based on what we've gone through. Oh, this is what they did. So as a result, I'm going to use the child as a pawn. I'm going to use the child as this. I'm going to lie about this. I'm going to get the child to lie.
Yeah.
All kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's time for us to stop this foolish behavior, because when you think that you're getting one up on the father or the mother, the child is suffering.
Yeah.
And as somebody said before, the child's eyes is open. He can see. They can see.
They listen with their eyes.
They listen with their eyes.
Said, yeah.
And at some point, and that's why sometimes in some cases, you find that when the child reaches a certain age, they're gone looking for their father or they're gone looking for their mother.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because they want to hear the other side. And then once they begin to discover the truth, they're like, you know something, I'm not really feeling you as my mother like how I did, because you told me a lot of lies.
Yeah.
You told me a lot of lies.
Deceit.
So I think it's important that we, as I said, we speak the truth.
Yeah.
If you believe, if you can relate to this narrative, this story, maybe you haven't watched it, we encourage you to go and watch it. And Brother Charles is going to put.
I've just put it. I've just put the link. I've just put the link in the chat.
The link is in the chat. You can go and watch it.
Yeah.
And maybe from watching it, you can make a decision. You know something? I need to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm releasing myself, and I'm also doing the right thing by my children.
Amen.
Let me do the right thing. We can change
God will bless you.
This
God will bless you
generational cultural behavior where we keep secrets, where we put things under the carpet. No, we can break that. We often talk about breaking generational curses. Well, maybe this is a generational curse that we need to break. We need to break this generational curse. It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
Let the child know who their mother or their father is. If the mother or father don't want to be in that child's life, there is nothing that, one can really do about that. And we just pray that that child will be placed in a wonderful home where, he will be reared or she will be reared by two wonderful people. But if there is a possibility for that father or that mother to be in that child's life, give the child that opportunity to have that relationship. It's important, because we can see the effects of how traumatic it can be when you don't have your father or your mother. You're craving for this affection from your mother and your father, but yet it's been taken away from you. Amen. It's not good. It's not good.
Nope.
So that's my encouragement to everyone listening tonight. Do the right thing for yourself and by your child. If you say you love them,
that's right.
Do the right thing by them.
Yep. Absolutely. As I said, God will bless you as well.
He will.
He'll bless you for it.
He will. He will. God is about family. family is the bedrock of society, and I think this is something that we spoke about a few months back, about the importance of churches teaching about family and talking about family and preaching about family and the unit of the family. We don't really hear a lot of these kind of things within the life of the church, to be honest with you. I don't know, in some of the churches that I've been in, you don't really hear a lot of stuff about family and the importance of family. And maybe this is something that we need to look into, to teach and to preach about family, the importance of family, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, I pray that we will move forward in power and in strength. So I don't know if there's anything that you have to say,
Amen, Brother
Charles.
Yeah, just stop with the lies. Forget all the pride.
Yeah.
This cultural thing that we got where we don't want to share neither or talk certain things. It needs to be rooted out. It needs to be rooted out because it's holding us back. And it's being passed on to generation. If we don't break it, it will just continue. It will just continue. Yeah. And we can better ourselves by changing this. So let's learn something. Let's try and learn something. Have a look at the video if you can. I'll put the link in the chat. It's called, if you're listening on the radio station, it's called, just go to YouTube. It's called Father's Day, a Kirk Franklin story. A Kirk Franklin story. Father's Day, a Kirk Franklin story. And you'll find it. Just Google it. It's a 35-minute documentary. And see what you think. Have we come across correct tonight? Hopefully we have. Hopefully we haven't upset anybody. Hopefully if we have brought things back that you wished could have stayed buried, we hope it's done in the right way or for the right cause, for the right reason. And whatever it is, take it to the Lord in prayer.
Amen.
All right.
Amen.
But also, if you can, seek professional help if you are troubled by anything you've heard this evening. There's many organizations. You can reach out to myself, Brother Charles. I'll try to point you in the right direction where possible. I'm sure Minister Joshua is available.
Yes.
But yeah, seek help. It will only eat you away.
That's right.
If you keep it to yourself, it's only going to eat you away.
That's
and
right.
Generations to come. Because they can see. You might think things are hidden, but people can see. All right.
That's
thank you for your time again. We've come to the end of the show. If you do want us to talk about something you would like us to talk about, talk to us about it and we'll talk about it. All right. Get hold of any of ourselves. Myself, Brother Charles, Minister Joshua Kesler, or Pastor Owen Uriah. We're all on social media. Get hold of us. But please, if you've enjoyed the show, if you've liked what you've heard, join us again next week, Tuesday, 8 till 10 p.m. We are right here every week with various topics. And hopefully you will join us in the conversation. So thank you for your time again, Minister Joshua Kesler. God bless you. We will speak or see again real soon.
Yes, man.
Good
Take
night.
it easy.
God bless. Thank you all for your time. We will see again. Take care. Good night.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.